Today, DWR will head into the mountains to assess the snowpack in the Sierra. This comes after a dismal first survey last month. We'll have the outlook for today's survey straight ahead on Daybreak.
This is Daybreak, your morning news source. From the North State to the North Coast, get the facts right.
Welcome into Daybreak. It is 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Glad you're with us. I'm Kelly Som. Get ready for another very warm afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger has more on this mini heat wave in the Weather Center. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, I think some people have actually got to go in the closets and try to kind of get in the back there and pull out some of the shorts and short sleeve shirts because it is unusually warm out there, and we will continue to see these temperatures remain fairly high for this time of the year for quite some time. You can see right now fairly mild temperatures even starting out the morning. We have a lot of those clouds still this morning, mainly in the form of high and mid-level clouds, and that's enough to really kind of blanket us a bit. Temperatures generally in the 40s for the coast right now. Now, again, you can see those clouds moving on in, but you'll notice to our south, you see south of Los Angeles and Southern California in general, there's that pocket of what we're looking at, those clear conditions. That will be building in our direction, and I do expect more sunshine over the next few days, and that will also mean warmer temperatures too. So we look at our planner for today. Temperatures should be somewhere around 70 degrees, give or take, for the valley, for the coast. Obviously not as warm. I'm expecting the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Kelly.
Happening today, the Department of Water Resources will conduct the season's second snow survey. They'll be out in the Sierra, east of Sacramento, near South Tahoe today. The first snow survey back on January 3rd found virtually no snow due to an exceptionally dry December. Redding saw about 6 inches of rain in January, and Sacramento got about 3.5 inches. We'll find out how much that translates into for the snowpack. It's the second manual survey of 5 scheduled for the 2018 water year. The snowpack provides much of California's water supply for the rest of the year. President Trump is headed to West Virginia today to meet with Republican members of Congress. Some of those lawmakers were involved in a train crash on their way to the retreat when their train struck a truck. North State Congressman Doug LaMalfa was on board and was not injured. Candace Gibson shows us more on what went wrong.
Dozens of Republican lawmakers on board a chartered Amtrak train when it slammed into a trash truck near a crossing.
Suddenly there's a loud bang and things stopped. Lights went out. There was a acrid smell of electrical smoke.
There's no question that we hit something. We just didn't know what, of course, at that point.
The politicians heading from Washington, D.C. to West Virginia for their annual policy retreat.
Mass casualty incident, level 1, train versus truck.
North Carolina Representative Mark Walker filming the scene through the train window, showing debris littering the area across the tracks. 3 lawmakers who are doctors offering first aid to victims, including Congressman David Rowe and Roger Marshall.
So we did CPR for several minutes. Dr. Rowe gave me a look that I don't know where you teach this in medical school, but the look that this is over, Roger. There's nothing else we can do.
A 28-year-old passenger in the trash truck did not survive. The injuries for passengers on the train are minor.
It just kind of reminds you sometimes how fragile life can be.
The NTSB says one of the focuses of their investigation will be the grade crossing where the crash took place. A recent study found these crossings, where a railroad and a road meet, saw an average of nearly 6 incidents per day in 2017.
There are a lot of fatalities at grade crossings, and that's become an area of focus. This is another one of the accidents that help us understand what recommendations would improve the safety of grade crossings.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
This morning, we have a brand new behind-the-scenes look at a Reading boy's trip to Washington, D.C. this week as a guest of First Lady and President Trump. 12-year-old Preston Sharp sat right next to the First Lady at Monday's State of the Union address. This is a video that was posted by the First Lady on Facebook. You can see Preston Sharp and other guests meeting Mrs. Trump before the president's speech. Sharp has gained national attention for his work placing flags and flowers on veterans' graves. Today, he returns to school in Reading after his whirlwind trip to Washington. San Francisco's district attorney is working on what supporters say is a model for the rest of the state when it comes to marijuana. Coming up on Daybreak, a look at why thousands of misdemeanor pot convictions could be reversed and why opponents say it could help drug dealers get away with crime. And Humboldt County could see a reduction in resources for schools. We'll look at how this connects back to the Fortuna Police Department.
Well, we still got some clouds out there this morning. That's keeping those temperatures fairly mild for most of us this morning. Those clouds should eventually dissipate later this afternoon, which will mean warmer temperatures than yesterday. Details coming up.